Oh, boys. I'm going to need a day at the Reflex and Massage Parlor really soon.
I've got a couple good ones lined up.
I need someone that has hands that move like water.
I've got a standing 4 o'clock on Fridays. You could have
a standing appointment is what I need for a couple.
No. It means you have to stand. You can't lay down.
It's a cheaper version. They don't give you a bed, but
I don't have any hand blown, glass blown butt plugs like last week, but
well, you're about
I don't have anything for show and tell.
If you're lucky, you might get a handy and blowy, actually.
Yeah, and you can't really bring your own. Well, you can bring your own toys, but they charge you like a bottling fee, if you know what I mean.
Of course, 50-cent deposit, I guess.
A corking fee.
Corking fee.
That's nerve-wracking.
Let's just say it's the only time I haven't been paid for depositing something.
I wasn't going to start recording yet, but I feel like I'm glad I did because that was
you got it.
Oh my God, we're recording this.
Wait, you're recording? Who are you sending this to?
Mostly just my grandma. I think she's
just
the
my
one who
employer.
watches. My employer. Your employer, naturally. We do tag people on LinkedIn, so hopefully this will help.
LinkedIn is literally a cesspool, so that's totally fine.
The only
be on par for LinkedIn.
The only social network we post this on is LinkedIn.
Did you see?
We're on LinkedIn Live right now. It's actually it's a small feature.
Did you see the executive on LinkedIn who turned his wife leaving him with the president of the company into like a potential growth strategy?
No,
that was insane.
The B2B salespeople are out of control.
No, wait, hold on. Tell me.
How getting cucked made me a better salesman.
It literally was the time. Like,
dude,
hi, boys.
Oh, what up, Jay?
Oh, look who's here.
Gosh, he knows.
Fresh
I
off a
think
sales
that-
call.
I think that Donkey Teeth might be the person I've texted the most in my life without knowing who they are until this moment.
Dude, we're about to make a trade too. If I had
Dude,
survived,
we had some blockbuster trades in the works for this
Blockbuster
week,
trades.
boys.
You had no idea. Faab, people, sexual favors. You have no clue.
It was an all-encompassing deal. Also, Luke, curious, did you go to like a cigar rolling workshop or something? Or-
Believe it or not, yeah, I actually just came from my sommelier class and headed to the cigar rolling right after that.
Nice. What did I miss, boys? What did we talk about? Luke's full Faab dump?
Oh, I have not talked about.
I actually haven't even checked.
I was just
Congratulations to me on.
Dude, how did you get
Jaden
Jaden Daniels? How'd you guys let him do that?
Honestly,
He's like the top 2 quarterbacks. That's insane.
I mean, you barely outbid. I mean, the next bid was 342. So, and Jaden Daniels is just
he's
very
unreal.
interesting switch up in strategy because I think last year Luke didn't spend any Faab until like the last Faab dump, and then picked up basically the entire roster for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, if you can survive, but it's scary. Wow, dude, a lot of people. I mean, the bidding is high. Look at that. For Jamar Chase, there's what, 1, 2,
I think
3,
so
4,
high. Yeah, I keep thinking it's
5.
going down. It's never
I'm
going
glad
down.
he went for that much.
There's
Honestly,
six bids over 300 for Chase.
damn, dude.
I'm glad you guys convinced me to trade away Jamar Chase for Kyron Williams in my other league.
Who
You
convinced you of that?
You wanted to be convinced. Yeah, and then you're
You
going
were
to take
all
credit
over
for getting
that.
Brian Thomas and not saying that we made you do that. So
I
pick and
wanted
choose your battles, please.
wanted Brian Thomas. All right.
Okay.
Why would you
I mean,
ever
if
get
we
rid of
convince
Jamar?
If we convince you of Jamar, then we convince you of Brian Thomas. You can't have both of them, Booze.
Joe Burrow is like
I could
past
have-
5 weeks. He's like unreal. Like you just got to survive the first 5 with his wide receivers. That's crazy.
Donkey Teeth for Hindsight 2020 Academy.
Oh, it's saved for last year too, though.
While we're meandering around in hindsight, in the world of hindsight, God damn it!
Petey's used to meandering
I'm pretty
around.
sure I texted you guys. Actually, no, it was night of the draft that the minute I drafted Richardson, Josh blows me up for going crazy. Bold pick, I'll admit that. But I was literally, up until the minute before, splitting between Lamar Jackson or Richardson. I just felt like Josh Allen was going to be a boring pick, and I didn't want to just go. And I thought Lamar probably was like the smarter pick, but I just felt like there was a huge upside with Richardson. It was going to be more exciting. I was going to be like more just like pumped for the season. So I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. What else are you going to do with the first pick? You can take whatever you want, and it's not going back to you for 32 picks in a 16-team league. God damn it, if I had taken Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Man, what a time.
Oh, that's a tough
You
one.
also told me you considered CMC though, so let's not get too crazy.
No,
Yes,
I
CMC would have
like
been a bad
weeks
pick.
before, but I was pretty set on quarterback only.
Oh, that's tough.
But pretty pumped on Jaden Daniels. Not gonna lie,
That's a nice pick.
I thought that he would go for much more. I thought for sure you'd have been me, Josh.
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it.
Like who
I
else?
wanted to retain some. I needed to retain
Lamar is on the
some.
market at some point in the next month. Who else would you rather have? I can't believe like literally there's nobody else I'd rather have on any other roster.
Dude, that's crazy. I cannot believe that.
Yeah, it's not that I wouldn't rather have other players. It's how many other players I could get for. Like you could have 5 A-chans for one Jaden Daniels.
I'm gonna have to look at the history here because I think Boozy's right that I got a bunch of steals towards the end of the year last year, but I also remember being severely underwhelmed at who was available towards the end.
I remember just only trading with Josh last year.
Yes, same. It was the best. I got
And only one trade
I
with
had
Pete.
I had an absolute haul last year, and I think the last week I got like Derrick Henry for like $7. I picked
That's
up
crazy.
Jefferson for free. Like no one outbid or Henry, one of them. But I ended up with like 3 studs with like the last money I had left. I think I got Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, and Derrick Henry in the same week with like 100 Faab left or something crazy. I don't remember, but
Dude, here's a crazy thing. So now that Donkey Teeth is out, 2 out of 3 teams who've been eliminated, myself and Donkey Teeth, eliminated because a player was pulled in the 4th quarter in a blowout game.
I also could have played Rico Daddle, and I should have. So
that's
Well, there's
always
a lot of
tough.
other things we all should have done. Should I have played any of my other Bills people who scored and not have played Smaje P. Ryan? Yeah, probably.
Yes.
But,
MJP run was a hell of a play.
but that is
You
a
gotta-
brutal dude. Literally,
gotta
both of
do
us
it.
going out because someone was pulled and needing like, what did you lose by? Like 1 point or something, Johnny?
I don't even know.
No, I think you ended up winning by like or losing by like 7 because didn't Levis? Oh no, what that Levis was 2 weeks ago. What happened last week? What happened?
May I have a blow?
I got
who
I
has
got 2. Both running backs were injured, and then Jaden was pulled for the 4th
Oh
quarter.
yeah. Also, how about
Jamar
it
went
was
off.
insane that all your players were by the 1 p.m. game. There's nothing worse than being done with no one.
I'm
left
like,
to cheer
I'm done.
for.
I'm fucked.
Oh,
Just-
I was just like, Jamar, please let this go to overtime and get like a 4th
yeah.
touchdown.
Like,
Yeah,
he,
then
almost,
Andy had
he must have had like
Mahomes and
half of your points.
Allen.
Yeah, he was like 40 something, 42 maybe.
I think he had like 37 points. You ended with like 89. Although I will say you also had the
80.
highest low score yet this season. You actually had a decent performance considering other weeks, but
I mean, technically speaking, we should continue to see higher and higher.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
but
true.
this was pretty
That is-
substantial. 89 is like a pretty high low
Both the
score for a
previous
14-team
Most
league.
scores have been under 69, like right, like 68 or below, and then all of a sudden it's like if you had to be over 90 basically to be safe. That's a pretty big
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah.
But it was a super crazy high scoring week. We also had like
Yeah,
3 teams over 140.
Yeah, you guys all popped off on that Thursday night game. It was crazy.
That was huge.
Not me.
Chuba
So
Hubbard.
I was only
Chuba
7
Hubbard
points
and
out higher than Johnny.
Yeah,
I felt like until the last minute I was pretty terrifying stuff.
you were in a little dicey spot, Luke. All I know is Chuba Hubbard and Justin Fields are the greatest fantasy football picks of all time. That's all I know. They are carrying me through these early weeks.
That's
I thought
crazy.
AJ Brown and Tyreek were going to be my core. Who needs
Dude.
them? I got Justin Fields in pick like 947, whatever the third to last pick of the draft was. And Chuba Hubbard, I mean, who knows? I just felt one in my pants and thought maybe I'll draft him out of that name.
You
Eighth
got-
round.
got one look at him and
118th
you were
overall.
stabbed. Oh my
That's
god!
Did-
And
Did
now you
Joe
have
Buck
Jamar.
yourself- Did Joe Buck yourself pick anyone up off waivers? Because I mean that
I'm looking.
guy's almost dying out here. So it would be foolish for him not to fab dump. You
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
even
so
play-
pissed I lost to him.
He didn't play long enough last year to experience fab. You think he's just full concept?
Dude, he's in dead last, 2-8. What the fuck is this?
Johnny,
Who got-
remember
who got
last year when you
Bijan?
were
He got Bijan last week.
Johnny
Yeah,
being
for
20 and
$200.
4? All I remember is Johnny was 20 and 4 last year and had one of the worst teams I've ever seen. It made no sense. DeAndre Swift
It
was
was
your best player.
beautiful.
You had-
What are you talking
you
about?
had one-
Stephon Diggs.
You had one quarterback. I'm like,
you
I
need.
don't know how this person's winning games, let alone every game, every week. It was
I had a
so
series
mind-blowing.
of good matchups, and they just kept performing for me. And I honestly had Taysom Hill carry me for like 3 games.
I mean, that it says everything.
Yeah,
Donkey teeth.
you
Do
worked
you
some
have
magic.
any insight in how you went from pretty surprisingly good team last year to one of the worst in the entire league?
I had a very solid foundation. If I survived this week, I would have spent a majority of my fab.
It's actually pretty shocking. I will say there were some tasty players on waivers.
There were
this week.
very, very
You-
tasty players.
Losing 2 in-game injuries to running backs. That's it.
That's it.
You had there were 3 teams I was looking at, and I was like, if any of them lose, I'd rather have 7 of Johnny's players than their top player.
Yeah, I think Boozy actually. I think you spoke a little too soon there. Johnny actually
Take a
on the
seat,
season
Booze.
so far has scored only 14 points less than your team, and actually
Yeah?
20 more than Josh's team. 20 more.
Oh yeah,
than
I mean,
Josh.
yeah, but my team's not good.
Honestly, I did look at your team, Josh. I am surprised. I am
Yeah,
very surprised that you're still alive.
I feel better. AJ Brown coming back's huge. Once
That
Tua
is
comes
huge.
back, fingers crossed. I could have Jamar Chase, Tyreek, and AJ Brown, which would be just a thrill.
That's
You got to
crazy.
survive this week. You literally
Yeah.
you could be. Well, Jamar Chase is probably going to carry you through this week, but you could
I
be
hope.
close this week, and if you get through this
Yeah.
week, you're probably good for a while. And it just
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tua might not be back like ever, even though he thinks he will. So we'll see.
that's
All right,
You have
boys,
some good
I-
matchups too.
Tua
would
should
like
not be back ever. Like Tua should
I
not.
know he really shouldn't. I might drop Tyreek just in like solidarity for making a good choice.
Don't
Um,
do that.
Boys,
never
I was
know.
thinking of introducing a new segment to this podcast called Confessional, where we take one of our worst decisions of the week and we talk about them. And I'm ready to talk about mine. It has nothing to do with this league.
Thought you introduced
But,
it.
That was a very
Just in
different
time.
direction than I thought you were going
All right.
to.
Watching
My-
a little bit of porn at work is not really a confession.
My experience in Catholic school was confessional was getting brought behind the building and did a little bit.
oh my God.
Oh, God.
How did you know I was proposing that as the segment?
Oh my God, that's why I went so quiet and scared when I said that.
Brought to you by Taco Bell.
All right, this
Live mine.
this segment is brought to you by Underdog, a graveyard of regret. Last week, I had a freebie token, which usually you have a $10 max bet on. My freebie token this week was for $100. I'm a small time bettor, as these people know, but I know a deal when I see one. So my strategy with freebies is you pick one other pick and you have a 50-50 chance to double your money or
Okay.
triple it, essentially. So I was going to do a $100 bet to get $300 back or $200 profit. And I was feeling tickled by my full Chuba Hubbard.
Confessional.
And I went, and so I went my freebie token and Chuba, and I had $100 bet typed in. And then I thought,
Let's
maybe-
add another 0.
maybe I'll add basically another freebie pick, a Jordan Mason touchdown. It allows me to get 4.5 times my return, so I could actually do a $68 bet and get the same return. And Jordan Mason's definitely going to get a touchdown.
That's good math.
So I decided to do a $68 bet on Jordan Mason and Chuba and my freebie. Chuba gets over yards in about the first play of the game. And so now all I need is Jordan Mason to get a touchdown. Should be easy. Until they get to the 2-yard line and put Debo in the backfield, and Jordan Mason is even sniffing the field. I have a nervous wreck. I turn the game off. I lose the biggest bet of my life by a lot.
By a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I could have had, so it went from a $300 up 200 profit to minus 68. That is a tough call.
Is that your mortgage?
So where do you get?
How do we handle these? How do we handle this confessional? After you say it, do we just
just
offer
go.
some
Forgive me. Here's what you do.
You're forgiven, Josh.
You each Venmo me a quarter of $68. I make another bet this week. We split the profits. Hey, who's in?
We just started this pretty sweet tradition. We got inspiration from a post on Twitter, but in our fantasy league, every week the lowest score of the previous week has to put $10 down. And then every member of the league chooses a leg of a parlay.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
in. I'm
We
in
put
for that.
together a 10-leg parlay every week, sponsored by the previous loser.
I love it.
And
Do I get to keep the money though?
with a caveat that if all 9 legs hit and one misses, the one loser has to post a shotgun video and an apology video to the entire league.
God.
A shotgun video or an apology video?
No, they have to shotgun and then apologize for why they cost the league thousands of dollars.
Does the payout go back into the pool of money? Because that payout would be like $100,000 if one person hits.
If we
And you're starting this now after I'm out?
we just no, it's a different league.
Okay.
But we just did it this week, and the payout's like $3,500. They're not all even.
But who gets it? Who gets it?
I think we said either split it evenly or like pay for a destination draft.
I like
Gotta
that.
work that out, or it's gonna be figured out in small claims court.
So true.
It all goes into legal fees.
But he's like,
Deciding who gets it.
we'll work on who gets it once we win.
Yeah, that's
Really,
never
that's
gone
so
poorly for
true.
anyone. All right, I think we have just one more agenda item before we got to get to our elimination picks.
Wait,
So,
I have one more question for Johnny.
yeah.
Oh god.
Do you think that Baby Oil Watson was part of the reason that you slipped through the cracks and ended up out this week?
Baby Oil Watson?
Did he really slip through the cracks, or did he kind of like nudge himself
Slipped into
out?
the
Force himself upon the cracks.
I don't understand the reference, to be honest.
All right, we can just move on then.
One of your quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, you familiar with his
He was not my
exploits off the
quarterback.
field?
His extracurriculars.
He has more sexual assault cases than completions on the season.
So are like him and P. Diddy like trading baby oil, or like do they have a baby oil guy?
Hey, do you guys know the PFT podcast? It's like a couple of the guys.
Oh,
from
yeah,
Bucks.
Deshaun Watson was not on Johnny's roster last week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
Jacoby
Deshaun Watson.
Brissett, even worse, to be honest.
That's my guy, baby. Deshaun Watson taking me home
Yeah.
Because look at that guy. God.
with a special invitation.
You really,
Better hope he doesn't take you
after
home.
saying that, I do hope that you get eliminated this week. I think that's only fair.
I think we all hope I get eliminated this week.
Dude,
I
did
would
you see
love.
that,
I would love to have Wednesday nights back. I mean, that's the worst night of the week now. I'm just looking at Faab dumps for hours. It's the most stressful day of the week.
Put yourself in this position because you went out and acquired all the Fab, made yourself the top dollar person, and
Yeah,
then
dude.
you realized that you had to
a criminal
every
deal for
single
$200.
option. Absolutely criminal. Myself, on the other hand, I had no qualms, just laid it all out there. There's like I didn't actually think I was going to get Jaden Daniels, but all I had to do was submit one
that was
waiver claim
crazy.
because if I got it, great, and if not, I was just gonna ride it out. Actually, I think I submitted two. I would have gotten Chase for a little bit less if I hadn't gotten Jaden. But that's on you, Josh. That's on you.
What is everybody else doing in this league? We can't let the commissioners
Honestly.
win again. This is insane.
Yep, it's.
I gotta
it's hard to
check,
get
Derek.
right.
Has somebody not spent money yet?
There's a few. No. Everyone actually has, I think, at this point. But let's go ahead and.
I think you were the last.
Josh,
you were
I was the last
two.
one. I was the last one.
Two people who didn't spend any
Let's do,
got.
can we do a Fab? Can we do a Fab
Let's do a
recap?
quick
Who's-
Fab
To
check.
your point, Josh, it is nice having your Wednesday nights back. Instead of focusing on Fab, you can just focus on fapping again.
Yeah. You could do the 2-for-1 special, though. You have two hands for a reason.
Yikes.
And Meta's doing amazing things with VR. So you just really
Yeah.
never know.
I mean, I will step in the confessional booth if we need to. I tried VR porn once. It's intense.
Never went back.
It's very intense. Well, literally, you can't look back because there's a camera guy behind you, so that's pretty cool.
Wait. In what scenario are you looking behind you?
You gotta check it all out. You're just seeing the sites.
It's like,
It's a
You
full
gotta
360.
Dude, Boozy, they don't call it a turnaround Tuesday for nothing.
Just look back and you're like, oh, what the hell?
Well, it's nice to make sure no one else is in the room with you, but it turns
Just
out
making
there's
sure
quite
he's
a big
safe.
Production crew.
Any
Once you
animal
st-
would check
once-
their exits.
Yeah, dude, once you feel a turkey in the tushy hole, you gotta look around and see what's going on.
after you've given one or two 68s, then you gotta stay aware of your surroundings. Back to the Fab topic of the day. Shocking, yeah. So everyone has gotten smart after two. So between the three people who've been eliminated, the average spend of each person, each manager up until now is $3. And all came because Johnny spent $9 and Pete
Hell yeah.
and Kyle. Neither Peter or Kyle spent a tenth of dime. So Johnny bringing home the team there. At this point in the season, though, everyone has gotten dipped into their Fab budget a little bit. Shockingly, Drake, may I come inside your dad, Andy Regan, is leading the Fab board with $374, and second
Wow.
place is none other than yours truly, Boozy Vance, at 370. And then it drops down to like 344, Josh, 310, Dan McCarthy, Allsack, no Vance, 320, the Levis Legacy. How on earth the Levis Legacy survives that scare with Kyle, and now he is 4th on the Fab board? I mean, if he makes it through another week, I'm going to be pissed. So somebody go after that guy.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm gonna be honest. I just completely forgot about Fab Night this week. And
Are you
Seeing
serious?
no bids
A
was
single
surprising.
feature, which
Dude.
you might think, oh wow, his team looks pretty good and is all well and fine. But
No.
outside of Jalen Hurts,
I don't think anyone sees your
starting
team and
roster-
says that.
Nobody's
I was
ever
thinking
said
about
that
that.
looking at your team, dude.
I don't think anybody in my starting roster
What are you talking about?
outside
Brown and B. Irving as your
Hey.
running backs?
What we're all thinking is, oh god, that guy is. You are literally getting.
You are on
One
the
of them
edge,
forgot
my
about-
friend.
I don't know how he forgot about Fab Night. He needs every position.
I don't think anybody
Except tight end.
outside,
Kittle's doing pretty good, though.
I don't think anybody outside of Jalen Hurts and maybe George Kittle on my team was drafted before the 10th round.
You don't even
And I
have
will,
a defense.
and I will double check that to see. But
I doubt
here's my
that's
starting
right.
roster. Chase Brown, Bucky Irving, Josh Downs, Darnell Mooney.
Josh
Exactly.
Downs. My God. 61 position rank.
Yeah, but with Pittman out, he's actually going to be nasty.
Chase Brown's a stud.
No, it's second Downs.
This is why fantasy
year
leagues
Pittman is
are
out.
not won on draft night.
I think it is so funny, Boozy, that you thought anyone would think your team's good.
Well, Josh,
A Kittle touchdown's
Fair.
huge for you. Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Boozy's team is only one spot below yours, Josh, in the power rankings.
I do believe that.
That actually surprises me.
It's not
but
that surprising. Things are
You're right
probably
there in the
pretty
middle.
close. Besides, Luke's team
Well-
is pretty stacked, and so is
Booth- Yeah.
Also put up the
Maximilian.
4th most points last week. So
Boozy also has Kyron on a
Yeah.
bye this week, which doesn't help. That's a pretty significant blow this
That's a
week.
big piece.
Yeah.
That's a big piece of the offense.
It's a big piece of ass out there.
so
All right, we've got to move this thing along because once again,
This is a
moving on.
3-hour pod.
we're way over
great
time.
conversation though. We should do
We
this
started
again.
the season really strong. The first 2 pods were like 25 minutes, and I didn't have to cut anything. And then the last
And they
2
weren't
weeks
that
have
good,
been
though.
absolutely brutal. It's just
Yeah, but last week's was great. I think they're getting better. I think we need the time. We need things to
we
simmer.
need less structure and more just time to wander around, meander around, and figure out where we're headed. So we got one last question for Johnny, and then we can move on to our elimination picks. What do you plan on doing with all this spare time on your hands? You gonna pick up a new hobby?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in another fantasy league. You know, cup my life into pieces is the name of my team.
That's good.
I'm in first right now, so hoping he comes back soon so I can keep on keeping on. But
I have
there's a lot
greatest
less
one.
rules in this league compared to this one.
But
I
that's
have
not hard to believe. We pride ourselves on our rules. And then what? Any regrets you want to partake? You want to leave the league with any wisdom you've learned in your sweet but short tenure here in the league? Really though, putting your 2 seasons together.
Josh casts spells on you when he's texting you, so don't listen to him. It's usually
Block that
bad.
number.
It's a bad deal. But he is the
That's
only
true.
one wheeling and dealing. Probably
Exactly.
the only person that's put out probably like 80 trades.
Well, that's just to you too. That is a
That was
drastic
just to me. Yeah.
underestimation. I have guys. If I showed you, I tried to find a picture of my daughter to show someone recently. I had to scroll through like 17 panels of just screenshotted trade offers to find one picture.
That's gonna be a really rough look. You're at a work event, be like, "Oh yeah, he got kids. Yeah, I got kids. Let's take a look at my daughter." Just scroll past
Who's
the
this
page.
donkey teeth and why is he
There's-
featured every 10 photos?
Oh, there's a Jalen Hurts for Deshaun Watson trade offer.
Were you distracted?
Whoa.
Did you feel compelled to explain yourself along the way? Did you have to like?
Josh
text
is
your
trying to
trade
dump
offer?
Tyreek Hill on me for so long. I'm like, dude, it is a trash player on a trash team. I'm not taking
Dude,
him.
he's going off. He's off the market now. He's back, baby. Now that Tua's coming back. But it wasn't just you, Johnny. Here's the thing: you gotta just know that people need to know they can come to you, and they
Yeah.
come to me.
Oh, they
They
Dude,
don't
Wooster
just-
is
We know.
so frustrating.
we know.
So
My only job
I-
now is to tilt you guys as much as I can by raising the pitchforks anytime you guys make any change.
dude, I have about a 0.02% success rate with trade offers. But you can never start with your best offer. You don't know what people like or don't like. What would be nice is a little dialogue. That's why I like working with Donkey Teeth. I send an offer, someone says a no. Like, thanks for the productive conversation, you dingleberry. That's not my final offer. Let's see what I can give you here. Jeez, I'm not going to come offer you Jamar Chase for B. Robinson, accidentally getting Brian Robinson Jr.
I mean, you did.
Let's have a little conversation.
Don't
here.
disrespect Brian Robinson Jr. He's like
He's literally he's
Yeah.
scored more fantasy points than Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, he's for
True.
the second straight year outperforming Bijan Robinson. For the second straight
Yeah.
year, you could have accidentally drafted Brian Robinson instead of Bijan Robinson and been doing better off.
Yeah, that's nice stuff. So,
Um,
Is there anybody
miss
you
having-
guys
I will miss
really want to
having
see
Donkey Teeth.
lose?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
an
would love
excellent
it.
segue into our
Yeah.
next segment, which we really have to wrap up here before this is a 3-hour pod.
Luke,
Uh,
you know this group isn't good at wrapping up. That's not what
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not what we do.
That's why most of us have kids.
Why do you think 3 out of 5 of us are babies?
3 are fathers and
Wrapping
2
it
are
up was never one of our strong sets.
I'm pretty sure Boozy has a child, illegitimate.
I'm pretty sure I'm sterile because if I don't have a kid at this point, it's not happening.
Oh God, Boozy. Oh God, Boozy.
Dude, if you like find out, if you try to have a kid and you find out you're sterile, that's got to be the biggest sucker punch. You're like, what the
dude.
hell have I been doing this whole time?
I know.
What do you mean, Pete? A baby isn't my end goal. What?
No, I'm just saying that, like, eventually, if you do try to have a baby and you find out you can't and you're sterile, won't you be like, what the fuck? I could have been having a lot
more. Yeah,
I
I could have been very liberal with it.
Yeah. Like, I didn't need to bag up for any of those.
Oh my God! If you're shooting blanks, that is kind of a big downer. What have I been doing this whole time?
Dude, one time, okay, here's a confessional. One time I was making hanky panky, and this girl was like, "Oh, do you have a condom?" I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna finish yet." And she was like, "Well, like," she was like, "Well, it's in pieces." And I was like, "Didn't even cross my mind."
He's had several confessions as part of that segment.
Josh, you never should have introduced
Josh
confession.
started a segment, he took it to a different place.
Oh God. I
Oh,
don't think
God.
YouTube is a good place for confessionals, guys. I think we might have
This is all private, right?
Well, it's only on LinkedIn.
This is the most private thing about Pete.
Wow.
That man is open. That man's open for the public.
Oh my
Gosh,
God,
darn it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I always like making our elimination picks while games are going on, and you're getting real data feeds into the decision.
I
Yeah,
know.
but no one
all-
picked Johnny Teeth, right? Donkey Teeth.
Johnny Teeth.
That is fantastic.
We're still all
No, once
You
again,
got-
we're all 0-3 in elimination scoring, and the last week we actually did have like 3 out of 4 of us all went for the same pick, and yeah, not even close. No, we had 3 votes for Levis Legacy and 2 for Joe Buck yourself, and so yeah, nobody there. I think was Donkey Teeth a pick. Pete Donkey Teeth was an honorable mention from Pete in episode 3, but Pete actually went with the Maho Don't Touch Me there, which is now
Mahome. Oh no, don't touch me.
the team formerly known as Maho. Oh no, don't touch me there. Now Drake, may I stick it in you or something?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm looking at the
known
teams
as
now.
Drake May I Have a Blowy, which has been rebranded to Drake May I. Be Your
All
Dad.
right. Well,
Yeah, I do not like this new name out of Andy Regan.
Yeah, Andy, that's dirty and vile, buddy.
the rest of us are
Going
keeping
through a
it clean
hurricane right
around
now.
here.
He lives in Tampa Bay, so
He's fine. It
He's
was
going through a lot.
category 3. Not even that big of a
Dude.
deal.
Everyone in Florida deserves that state could be wiped off the face of the earth, and I would not shed a single tear. And
I
have
wouldn't
loved
miss it. I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
Been there. Spent some fabulous time. Great Cuban culture. Don't eat it. I'm okay.
Luke, that's where Luke got that shirt.
Yeah.
All right, with no
That's
further
right.
ado, it is time to make our picks. Josh, I am putting you on the hot seat. Any more comments about my shirt before you'd like to make your pick?
Oh, I thought you meant because you were picking me, and I was going to say, well, that's shocking because I'm actually going to make the upset call of the century
Really?
and say that I think Luke's going to lose and get out.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
I
That's fine.
Not even close.
That's
I'm
fine.
realizing that we're never right anyway. So why keep picking
That's
what I
right.
think is going to happen? But I think Chris Olave, DK Metcalf's having a terrible night. So that's real time
Not a
data
good
feeds
start.
into this decision making. Chris
Yeah.
Olave has a rattlesnake for a quarterback out of this deep round rookie, which I think is going to be very tough. You have J.K. Dobbins against a brutal Denver defense. You have Anthony Richardson injured against a tough Tennessee defense. You have Tank Dell against the Pats, which he might overperform with Nico out, but he might just not be that good anymore. And so Jaden Daniels and Derrick Henry will probably get you 130 points by themselves. But if they don't, I'm putting Luke on official watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shots fired. I mean, to be honest, I don't not understand it. I do see it. There's a reason why I went all in on Jaden Daniels, not only because I do think he's got a pretty decent shot at finishing at top 3 quarterback, and I don't believe Anthony Richardson has got that shot anymore. But I think it'll be close. I think if I escape this week, it'll likely be because of a strong performance of Jaden Daniels. And if this is the week it comes back down to earth against Baltimore, who have been relatively friendly to offenses, but you never know. Especially Baltimore at home. Yeah, you never know. It makes me nervous. A lot of question marks. A lot of question marks out there.
I mean, I hope Commanders go up early with a couple of Austin Eckler rushing tutties. So they don't have to, and then Ravens have to throw the ball. All of a sudden, Luke's
Really,
not
worst
looking
case
too
scenario
good.
for me. I mean, yeah. So if Jaden doesn't perform and Derrick Henry doesn't have a huge game, worst case scenario for me is that Anthony Richardson starts, so I sit Joe Flacco, and then he probably gets injured about 5 plays into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
And then
You
Joe
might want to
Flacco
play Flacco.
throws for like 250
Yeah, Joe
yards.
Flacco will come in and score 20 on my bench, and I'll have 1.5 points with Richardson before he.
There's nothing Anthony Richardson loves more than leading into a tackle with the injured part of his body. He's like, oh, it's already gone. Might as well fuck it a little bit further.
That's terrifying to watch. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, that's a strong pick. That is a strong pick. But I am actually gonna go in a very opposite direction. I do think you're gonna have once again you're gonna squeak one out, Josh. It's gonna be quite tight.
I've been squeaking one out this entire time.
That's
It's just been a constant stream.
nothing new there. But I think that I think the more likely candidate is Drake May. Change your name. What we know so far of the season is that Mark Erickson heading into second, which at the time Wilson. We all picked Wilson Jr. Changed his name from Wilson to Dario Gundawale something or other, and then came within a point of getting bounced out. Pete took the hit instead. Changing your name 3 times before your matchup, never a good call. I'm picking Drake May. Drake May, really hope he's the future for the Pats. Not sure he's going to have a good night against Houston on his first night out. Probably going to get a nice hug from CJ Stroud, like every other rookie quarterback of this year's class, who just keeps getting absolutely dominated by him. And he just kind of gives him a nice tap on the shoulder after the game, telling him like, hey, chin up, buddy, you got this. But the rest of the roster, I mean, Kenneth Walker might be the performance of the team tonight. He's having a pretty decent game. Kamara maybe has a good game. Other than that, you're looking at Jared Goff against Dallas, Deontay Johnson, Jake Ferguson, Rashad Bateman. There's a lot of dart throws there that I think could go very poorly.
Yeah.
So that's my pick for dropping out this week.
So
Yeah, hearing you read that roster makes no sense why I picked you.
interesting that you picked a Regan brother, because I am going
Ooh.
other Regan brother,
No way.
Juan Magic Juan.
I like it, actually. I like it a lot.
You know, at first glance, has a decent roster. Real-time data, Geno Smith having an all-time terrible game. And then what if I were to give you names like Isaiah Likely, Javonte Williams, Amari Cooper, guys that are just not performing well? I mean, it's like a 1 in 10 chance that they catch a couple balls. One of them has to catch baby oil balls. So that in and of itself,
Ooh, slippery.
but you know, those are just a lot of underperformers, and I don't know if Joe Burrow and Saquon can carry this team. So I'm going with our resident lifesaver not being able to save his own life in this one.
Good one. With Nico out, I think you could be right. Nico's been a stud on that roster.
Mhm.
Did not realize Nico was the number 2 scoring wide receiver so far in the season. I mean,
I didn't either.
Lighten it up.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
It's
crazy.
been insane. I mean, also nice when you do leave a game injured to have a 70-yard touchdown catch right before. It lessens that blow a little bit.
Instead of like 4 points and you get a concussion, you know.
So true.
Hypothetically.
He had 14.8 points on like the first drive, 2 catches, 78 yards and a touchdown, 2 catches on 2 targets, 14.8 points. And he's out of the game. I mean, the fact that, even being, so he's really only played 4 and a quarter, and he's the second ranked player on the, that's wild. So tough hit, tough blow to the team. I could see it happening. Might come down to Sunday night with Joe Burrow. That could be fun to watch, boys.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 0 stats to back it up because
I love that.
Josh is going home. To restore faith in this league, we need to lose a commissioner.
I agree. It's got to be commissioner.
There would be such a sense of relief. I mean, I have to admit, as much as I love this, I mean, if I'm gonna get out, please do it soon.
The amount of time on your hands, if you get out, would be just like absolutely remarkable. You would go.
I have the greatest 1 in 4 fantasy roster in another league that I could be spending a lot more time tending the garden to, and just watch slowly slip out of my grasp and just lose with remarkable talent. I mean, that could be a much, much more enjoyable use of my time than trying to fiddle around with how much Faab I think Boozy's going to spend when he doesn't even know it's Faab night. I mean, what are we doing out here?
That's
Send
tough
me
to hear.
home. I like it, Petey. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's for you, really. It's for your own benefit.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Johnny,
All right, Johnny.
is your parting gift to the league?
Yeah.
You can't pick yourself, Johnny. Your team has no players.
No way. I didn't realize that. I don't know. There's like 3 teams that could go out, but I'll pick one.
That's
You
usually
can give honorable mention. Pick one and then give your honorable mentions.
I
The
will
fact that no
say,
one's picking Spofford is insane.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Too Legit to Quit and Joe Buck Yourself as like obvious no-brainers. Yeah, Nick should be out by now. Which is I'm so mad about that.
He has 2 points for Brandon Ayuk. I mean,
Dude.
You gotta hate to see that.
Yeah.
man is playing 2 Steelers, a tight end and a wide receiver. I mean, in what world? I have Justin Fields. There's no way I would play 2 pass catchers for the Steelers.
His over-under passing yards this week was like 150.
And I'd hammer the under. Dude, his rushing yard over under is larger than his passing yards, I think.
Honestly, Boozy, you look kind of like you're on the chopping block a bit.
No, I don't.
Yeah, dude. If Mooney does not pop off, you're kind of fucked here.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go big on Fab Night. I was bidding to outbid you.
You needed a running back big time.
I already said during Confessional that I forgot it was Fab Night, so none of you.
I'm not trying to weaponize it, Booze. I'm just.
He's already been forgiven for that.
You've been
Johnny,
forgiven. You've been forgiven.
This week was tough with running backs, Johnny, because like for a running back needy team, none of them are playing this week.
I thought that was so
good
funny.
running backs. So it's like it was an interesting situation because there were some solid options, but not if you needed someone like this week. So it made it interesting.
So Booze, I guess that wouldn't have helped you unless you picked up Rico, which someone else did.
I could use any position, really.
There was
Rico's
a huge
popping
crab
off.
dump on Rico.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That was
All right,
surprising.
Johnny.
It's Boozy. It's Boozy for me. Boozy, you're donezo. Sorry, bud. See you next week.
Whoa. That makes 3 of the
Every commissioner's been nominated.
Honestly, it could be anybody. I don't know.
If past trends hold, none of us will be eliminated, which is
If Mooney doesn't pop off, I think you're gone.
I like the picks. It does seem, sadly, what this really means is that Nick, Joe Buck, yourself, and Too Legit to Quit, who have been picked for the last 4 episodes in a row, are
Both
most
honorable
likely going out because neither of them were picked tonight.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, boys, that'll do it for the pod. Thank you all for joining, for watching. I don't know, none of you are watching at this point, but
No way.
If you
It's
made
been
it-
2.5 hours. We
leave a
spent more.
comment if you made it, because we appreciate you.
We spent
Patronage.
more time on this pod than I did picking my Fab last night, and I spent hours.
Oh my god!
All right, guys. See ya.